And there's a terrific piece in The Federalist. It's a longer piece by an attorney by the name of Adam Mill. But this piece goes step by step by step into this latest round of Mueller leaking and Mueller media reports. And I know we're sick of this, but ladies and gentlemen, we cannot allow them to run this field without us watching, or we're going to lose the vote of 2016, and worse. And he writes here, the latest Russia collusion bombshells are big fat duds. Like so many other Trump-Russia collusion theories, this is yet another half-built bridge that doesn't connect to the other shore. But of course, who's building it? Mueller, the Democrats, and the media. He says a recent blitz of bombshell headlines initially appear to show there might actually have been some collusion between the 2016 Trump presidential campaign and Russia. First, there was The Guardian claiming that Paul Manafort met with Julian Assange of WikiLeaks in the spring of 2016, with the obvious implication that it was done to plan or coordinate WikiLeaks' Hillary Clinton email dump. Now, that's been ably exposed by Molly Hemingway and others. And then Margot Cleven, writing, followed up with a nice article showing The Guardian's anonymous sourcing doesn't even pass muster. We can now add NBC News, which has published a very misleading piece that incorrectly appears to be another smoking gun. But that's not what I found interesting about this article. It should be noted, he says, that Jerome Corsi predicted 2 dumps, email dumps, one shortly after he returned from a trip and one in October. WikiLeaks released emails on July 22nd and a series of John Podesta leaks beginning October 7 through the next several days. So Corsi appears to have guessed wrongly or relied on bad information in predicting a dump after August 2, shortly after I'm back, quote unquote. Corsi and Stone are big talkers, of course, who seem to lie or guess to make themselves appear to be connected and in the know. Stone effectively admitted to exactly that, so it's highly relevant whether either Stone or Corsi were passing off already public information as the inside scoop. Corsi claims his foreknowledge of the Podesta attack was a product of him connecting the dots. Another commonly cited so-called smoking gun is Stone's now deleted August 21, 2016 cryptic tweet, quote, "Trust me, it will soon be the Podesta's turn in the barrel," unquote. This could easily be a reference to the August 19, 2016 Politico story 2 days earlier, which said the Podesta Group had hired outside counsel because of its connection to the emerging scandal over lobbying for the Ukraine that put Manafort in the barrel. And by the way, why haven't the Podestas been prosecuted? Well, we know the answer. It's rhetorical. If so, the prediction would have nothing to do with the lack of Clinton campaign trim in Podesta's email. Writing the Podestas in the tweet makes it more likely that Stone was referring to both Podesta brothers, John and Tony, as in both of the Podesta brothers are going to be in the barrel over Tony's lobbying. Or could have referred to the name of their lobbying firm, the Podesta Group. Either way, the tweet appears to refer to the past, not the future. The newest bombshell, so-called, is the story that Michael Cohen is now pleading guilty to lying about when the Trump Tower and Moscow deal actually fell through. So that's it. That's what the Russians had on candidate Trump all this time. A deal to build a new tower in Moscow. According to the New York Times, this bombshell appears to have already fizzled because the president does not appear to have said anything about the deal that conflicts with Cohen's account in the plea deal. And none of that has anything to do with the election. Like so many other Trump-Russia collusion theories, this is yet another half-built bridge that doesn't connect to the other shore. It's important to reflect on the Russia collusion hoax long history of truth-bending and bombshells. One is reminded of ABC's goof last year when it incorrectly reported that Trump directed Michael Flynn to make contact with Russian officials before the election. That request came after the election. Who can forget the CNN story that incorrectly reported Donald Trump Jr. received a heads up from WikiLeaks that it was about to release documents. The story, like this one, turned out to be the result of a bungled timeline. The heads up came 10 days after the release. Here's your media. One is also reminded of the stories confirming, quote-unquote, the Fusion GPS dossier's account of Cohen traveling to Prague to collude with the Russians. Not true. Notwithstanding clear debunking of the Prague trip account, the Hill newspaper continues to cite a non-functioning link in its article headline, Mueller can prove Cohen made secret trip to Prague before the election. One can also be reminded of the CNN story reporting that then White House advisor Anthony Scaramucci met with Kirill Dmitriev, a figure in a Russian government investment fund. CNN fired 3 of the reporting journalists and retracted the story the next day. And here's another interesting parallel between the Corsi and Manafort stories. Both Corsi and Manafort now claim the special counsel is refusing to accept their truthful accounts of the facts and have heavily suggested they will be prosecuted if they don't change their stories. These reports remind us of the complaints about Mueller number 2, Andrew Weissman, who in the Enron prosecutions was accused of intimidating witnesses to provide incriminating testimony against prosecution targets. How does this guy still have a law degree? He should be in Leavenworth with a bunkmate named Bruno. So, after 2 years of this Trump-Russia hoax, the truth-bending bombshells still find their way into headlines. And keep in mind, Special Counsel Robert Mueller likely has every text, email, voicemail that anyone connected with the Trump campaign ever made or recorded, probably recordings of several of the phone calls. These latest leaks demonstrate that the Mueller team isn't above spinning their cast-offs as smoking guns for the eager media. Much ink has been spilled trying to determine how the Russia collusion investigation got started. There's simply no mystery here. Clinton hired Fusion GPS to push the Trump-Russia hoax as a way to counterweight her email legal troubles. Fusion GPS paid money to journalists. Hello, to journalists. And the wife of a senior Department of Justice official, Bruce Orr's wife, Nellie Orr, to help. Fusion also hired Christopher Steele to help. He was already working with the FBI and is documented to have been its paid informant as early as February 2016. Fusion GPS continues to receive millions of dollars to continue researching, quote-unquote, the story. We have never learned which journalists received payoffs from Fusion GPS, although it's unclear why any money would be needed to sick the media on Trump. Because the Guardian source is secret, we can't rule out that it is also related to or paid by Fusion GPS in some way. This fellow, Adam Mill, he's an attorney in Kansas City, Missouri. And he's right on. In a relatively short article, he has exposed Mueller again, exposed the media again. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.